Have you noticed that as we get older, our stomachs become a little more picky? Many people tell me that just one heavy breakfast leaves them sluggish and tired for the rest of the day. That's why I often suggest to my patients a very simple option: a green smoothie, a blend of vegetables, fruit, and a handful of nuts. One of my patients, David, 63, used to struggle with bloating every morning. I encouraged him to swap his usual breakfast for a smoothie made with kale, banana, a few walnuts, and almond milk. A few weeks later, he came back and said, "I don't just feel lighter in my stomach, my mood is brighter too." It may sound surprising, but it makes perfect sense. When you feed your body fiber, vitamins, and omega-3s from nuts, it feels as though the whole system has been refreshed, and those silent fires of inflammation begin to calm down. A green smoothie is not only easy to digest, but it's also packed with natural antioxidants. Kale and spinach bring in vitamins K and C. Bananas add gentle energy. Walnuts or chia seeds provide healthy fats. Together they form a soothing medicine for your gut, your heart, and even your brain. I want you to imagine this. One morning, instead of rushing through a pastry, you hold a glass of cool green smoothie in your hand. With every sip, you feel lighter, as if you're giving your body a chance to start the day in balance. And for those of us over 50, it's more than just breakfast. It's a message we send ourselves. I choose freshness. I choose to care for myself in the simplest of ways. One time, a patient of mine, Martha, 61 years old, sighed and said, "Doctor, I don't understand why just the sound of the phone ringing makes my heart race, my body restless, like I'm being swept up in stress." I smiled and asked her, "Have you ever tried a handful of nuts instead of a pastry?" She laughed, thinking I was joking. But in the end, those tiny little nuts helped her find her balance again. Walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, almonds, each of them is like a natural medicine gifted by the earth. Walnuts and chia are rich in omega-3s, the kind of fat that quiets the storms of inflammation inside the body, while nourishing the brain and keeping it sharp. Flax seeds are full of lignans and fiber, great for digestion. Almonds carry magnesium, a mineral that, when we're lacking, makes us far more prone to anxiety and tension. Science has shown it clearly. Adding just a handful of nuts each day can significantly reduce inflammation in the body. And what's more, many of my patients tell me they sleep better, worry less, and feel calmer when they make this small habit part of their daily life. So I want you to imagine this. Tomorrow morning, instead of grabbing a sugary donut, you slip a handful of roasted almonds or a few walnuts into your pocket. You chew them slowly, savoring the nutty richness. That taste doesn't just satisfy your hunger, it whispers to your body, "Relax, it's going to be okay." After 50, what we often need isn't more pills, it's less stress, less inflammation. And sometimes, true healing doesn't come from something complicated, but from something as simple as a small handful of nuts resting in your hand. There are simple things in the kitchen we often overlook, yet they hold an entire world of healing. Turmeric and ginger, two humble, earthy roots, have been with humanity for thousands of years, not just as spices, but as nature's own medicine. I remember one of my patients, Henry, 67 years old. He used to complain that every morning his knees ached so badly he'd rather sit still than go for a walk. I suggested a small habit. Add a spoonful of turmeric powder to his morning oatmeal, or brew a warm cup of ginger tea. A month later, he came back with a bright smile and said, "I can't believe it, but now I can walk around the neighborhood with my wife without pain." Science explains this clearly. Turmeric contains curcumin, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound that eases joint pain much like anti-inflammatory drugs, but in a gentler, safer way. Ginger contains gingerol, which improves circulation, supports the immune system, and soothes the stomach. After 50, when our bodies begin to slow and those hidden flames of inflammation rise more easily, these two old friends become all the more precious. I want you to picture this. A chilly morning. You're holding a hot cup of ginger tea, breathing in the spicy aroma before taking slow, warming sips. Or maybe you sprinkle golden turmeric over your oatmeal, and suddenly breakfast turns into a quiet ritual of healing. It's not just about food. It's a way of whispering to your body, I'm taking care of you. After 50, we don't need grand changes. What we need are small, steady habits that nourish us each day. And sometimes true health, peace in our joints, our breath, our hearts, begins with something as simple as a slice of ginger or a spoonful of turmeric in the morning. Some mornings I tell my patients, if you want to take care of your heart and your brain, look to the ocean. And one of the ocean's greatest gifts is smoked salmon. Paired with fresh vegetables, it's not just delicious, it's a gentle, anti-inflammatory medicine. I remember Susan, 64 years old, who came to see me with high cholesterol and frequent nagging headaches. I suggested a small change. Swap the traditional bacon for a few slices of smoked salmon. Add some fresh greens and a few slices of tomato. 2 months later, she returned with a smile. I don't just feel lighter, my mind feels clearer, sharper. And that story is no surprise. Salmon is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, the kind of fat that reduces inflammation in blood vessels, protects the heart, and supports the brain as it ages. The fresh vegetables alongside bring fiber and vitamins, making digestion easier and keeping blood sugar steady. It's a combination that's not only tasty, but deeply nourishing and refreshingly green for the body. I want you to imagine this: a morning plate with thin slices of pink-orange smoked salmon, a bed of arugula, juicy tomatoes, and a light drizzle of olive oil. You take the first bite, and the silky richness of the fish blends perfectly with the crisp freshness of the vegetables, like a symphony that starts your day with energy and harmony. At 50 or 60, we're not just looking for a breakfast that fills us up. We're seeking meals that nurture the heart, quiet the silent inflammation, and keep the mind clear so we can enjoy the life ahead. And sometimes all it takes is a slice of smoked salmon with fresh vegetables to remind you that health can be both delicious and simple. Do you ever remember the smell of freshly baked bread from years ago? That simple, comforting aroma filling the kitchen, making you want to sit down and eat slowly. These days, as we cross into our 50s, I often remind my patients, breakfast doesn't need to be fancy, it just needs to be smart. And one of the smartest choices is whole grain bread with a healthy topping, almond butter, and a few slices of ripe banana. I remember Eleanor, 68 years old. She often complained that whenever she ate white bread or pastries, she felt sluggish, like her energy crashed within an hour. When I suggested switching to whole grain bread, spreading on a smooth layer of almond butter, and topping it with golden slices of banana, she laughed. That sounds like a kid's snack. But a few weeks later, she came back and said, Doctor, not only do I feel stronger, but I actually feel younger every morning. Science gives us the simple explanation. Whole grain bread keeps the fiber intact, helping blood sugar stay steady instead of spiking and crashing like white bread. Almond butter provides healthy fats and protein, keeping you full longer. Bananas add natural sweetness and potassium, which supports heart health. Together, they create a breakfast that's not just tasty, but truly nourishing. I want you to picture this. Tomorrow morning, instead of rushing with a sugary donut, you sit down with a slice of whole grain toast, a glossy spread of almond butter, and golden slices of banana on top. You take a bite, and the gentle sweetness and nutty richness fill your mouth. That's not just food. It's your way of telling your body, I choose balance. I choose to take care of myself. After 50, happiness doesn't always come from something far away. Sometimes, it's right there in a single slice of toast in the morning.